Hey up my duck YouTube, welcome back to a new video with Rams fan YT. In today's video, we're going to be doing a live watch along for the Palace travelling across London to the Emirates and taking on Arsenal in the EFL Cup quarter-finals. Should be quite an interesting one here, about 10 minutes away from kickoff. So we're, as ever, going to go through the starting lineups in this one. We've got for Arsenal, a 4-3-3, Kepa in goal. A back four of Miles Lewis-Skelly, Calafiori, Saliba, and Timber. With midfield three, Marino, Christian Norgard, and Eberechi Eze, former Palace person, of course, Eze. And a front three for Arsenal, Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, and Madueke. With Crystal Palace going in a 3-4-2-1, with Benitez in goal, a back three of Canvo, Lacroix, and Mark Weahy. A midfield four of Richards, who had an absolute standout performance last time round in the Conference League. Chris Richards up against Shelbourne. We'll be hoping he can replicate that sort of performance today. Jefferson Lerma, Adam Wharton, and Tyreek Mitchell. Attacking forward two of Eddie Nketiah, a former gunner, Pino, all into, of course, Mateta. Fairly strong lineups from both of these two teams, I would say, relatively speaking. They're both going into this expecting it. I think everybody's probably got Arsenal to be the favourites coming into this game. And obviously, last time these two faced each other in the EFL Cup, was also in the quarterfinals, and Arsenal ran out 3-2 winners of a Gabriel Jesus hat-trick. It was a very exciting game last time round. Be good to see if we can get to them at similar levels again. I'm not too sure myself which way if you're interested, look in my predictions video. I'm not sure we are going to have the same levels of goal fest as we did last time this was happening in the EFL Cup. I believe I went for a solitary goal to nil for Arsenal. Yes, solitary goal to nil for Arsenal, but I've got to go with the favourites for this one. But it'd be good if they have Arsenal versus or Palace rather versus Newcastle as the final, but I suspect it won't necessarily be that much of a case. The scenario, we are still about 8 minutes away from kickoff. Oh, we can run through the benches, of course, if you're interested in who's the firepower to be brought off for Arsenal. They got David Raya, who's a normal number one, Marley Salmon, Martin Zubimendi, Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, Ethan Noreneri, Victor Gyökeres, Leonardo Trossard, obviously famous for playing for the rivals of Palace, Brighton, and Bukayo Saka. So some decent options if things don't quite go right. Whereas Crystal Palace are also playing at their backup goalkeeper with Dean Henderson on the bench. Nathaniel Klein, very old name now, kicking around Klein, isn't he? Borna Sosa, Romain Esse, Justin Devaney, Joel Drakes-Thomas, Caden Rodney, Will Hughes, and Christ Antus Uche. So, yeah, some very interesting ones. A lot of players out at the moment for both of these teams. Arsenal's Gabriel Magalhaes, Ben White, Kai Havertz, Max Dowman, and Christian Mosquera are all out. Whereas for Palace, they've got Daichi Kamada, Ismail Sarr, Daniel Munoz, Cheick Doucouré, Shadi Riyad, Caleb Kapora, and Rio Cardines all out. I think Ismail Sarr is out because of a suspension, potentially. I think that's the case. Or is it? No, it might be because of AFCON. It might be. Yeah, I think he's out in AFCON with Senegal. That's the reason why. obviously affects different teams to various levels, I suppose, the AFCON tournament. But I wouldn't say it's too badly affecting Arsenal in this one. But yeah, I think we peaked a bit early in terms of this one, and my stream invariably being as slow as ever means that I'm not going to be able to read any comments, I believe, for this one, and you're probably going to get a long lag back, I suspect. But yes, we can't. We must be about 5 minutes away from kickoff as we are speaking. But we know the other draws. In terms of importance of what stage they're only one stage away from the semi-final, so a couple of rounds till they can get their hands on some pressure. So, and I think for Palace, this was more likely to mean Europe qualification. Arsenal, well, we'll be looking for the double. And to be fair, it's been a while since Arsenal won a trophy. That FA Cup seems a long time ago now. A lot of runs up though. Got all the sort of pre-match arts and sparks going on. A bit fancy for the EFL Cup. Come on, you don't need flames being shot off into the air. But clearly the Emirates think it's an important occasion, and clearly there's Arteta. Yeah, should be a interesting one. I think Palace probably the more nervous of the two coming into this fixture. The players are in the tunnel. Can Gabriel Jesus have another masterclass in this one? Don't think he normally starts for Arsenal. Could be wrong though. Yeah, two strong kits, especially that Newcastle one last time we were trying to do a live watch long. Which sorry about that being cut out halfway through. Couldn't have. Don't know what happened with it, but yeah, the Newcastle was a bit difficult to be able to see the numbers on the back of sometimes. Yes, on the rest of the EFL Cup draw. Well, we've got the EFL Cup draw. We've got this is the last one of this stage. Got Newcastle versus Man City, and whoever is taking on this one will be taking on, I believe, Chelsea. So a North and a South team will be playing each other up against each other. Is this one which starts off regionalised? I could be wrong about that, but I believe it is. The players are now walking out, which means that we're getting closer. Only a couple of minutes, I would imagine, away from kickoff. Let me know your score predictions in the side chat. Keep it civil, keep it PG, but other than that, have a great bit of fun. They got some sort of national anthem on it. They're all singing to stand some ovation. Don't think so. They're all handshaking each other, and well, we're about to have the next half, but we're obviously, for being ITV, going to be having an ad break because that's what we all need in life, and more adverts. You shouldn't get really much adverts on my channel because it's not been monetized yet. So any money that you advertising from YouTube will be going straight into YouTube's pockets for this video. Not very great. But yeah, we were just looking at Vodafone and captains today. Marino, interestingly, captain for Arsenal. He had a very good performance against Brentford about 20 days ago. In these performances, I would arguably say potentially one of the weaker links in this squad. Obviously, Jesus is an interesting one. He's been on the bench for the last couple, or was on the bench for the last some games, and has now been brought back into the squad, but yet to have scored in this last period of games. Madueke, though, he comes back after a spell on the bench. But but he scored 2 goals in a 3-0 win that Arsenal had over Club Brugge in the Champions League. On a sensational night for him, that was. Calafiore is also back into hitting form. He's an interesting one. I thought he had a good game against Bruges and a good game against Brentford. Yeah, captain-wise for Palace is Mark Guehi, as you would expect. I think he was a bit hit and miss, well, a bit poor during the game against Leeds, so he'll be trying to right the wrongs on that one. But shall we hopefully get into it? They're just running through the lineups as we're speaking for the two teams, but we've just done that a matter of minutes ago, so I won't bother going through them again. But yeah, should be all about ready for kickoff in this one. They're all getting into their huddle circles. You can see the likes of Eze, Kepa, Martinelli, all in that circle. That's basically everyone, isn't it? Wonder what the tactics Arteta's going to be employing in this one. You can see like Vertonghen, Wharton, and Nketiah in the Palace one. They're all ready to go, I believe. So, come on, get ready to kick off. Arteta is applauding something. I'm not sure what. I think the fact that they're kicking off seems a bit of an odd one to be applauding, but so be it. Arsenal to kick us off then in this Carabao Cup quarterfinals. Come on. We are underway. For some reason, Simon went straight to Kepa, who's going to go long in this one. Already, a Palace player is down on the floor and gaining a free kick, is it? Very early day action there in the first, 15 seconds of this match. First foul has already been drawn on Palace. Oh no, it will be just a throw in for Arsenal. Keeps on going at it. It's their number 3 for Palace. Not ideal, but they've managed to win themselves a throw in this situation. Yeah, I'm not dead keen on that. And clearly, that is poor by Wharton. He's giving the ball straight away to Arsenal, who will now attack out wide. It's whipped in, goes past everybody. Kept in, I believe, by Martinelli there. And it goes back with Calafiore. Just trying to survey his options. Sticks with crossfield 1-2 over through their back defensive line there. Needs a bit more incisive passing, if you ask me, but hey ho, what do I know? They keep on going past the California. There's a huge press here by Palace, which has forced them to go back into their own third, to be honest. Miles Skelly crossing it for Eel. Come on, this is boring, slow football. It's quite jarring to watch, really. It goes all the way back to Kepa. It will then just give it back to the person who passed it. Absolutely useless. Well, they've gone for a long ball there. Well headed away, and Wharton out wide. Now a chance for Palace to break. They have managed to win themselves a throw in that position. On the far side. The bench looks absolutely freezing and bored out of their mind on Arsenal's side. But Arsenal somehow got it again, and great through ball there. It's a shot straight into the great forehands of Palace's goalkeeper. That was at Midwake with the shot. It was a poor throw-in, which was really picked easy by Palace's keeper. Palace, this game needs to speed up the tempo a bit. Too many loose balls at the moment. I would both of the teams seem to cut out each other's movements a bit at the moment. Cheeky cut back heel sort of flick there, and there'll be a run out wide, but it's going to be a 50-50 there, and Palace managed to win a throw in quite a dangerous area. So great chance here. They're in line with the penalty area. Good long throw here. Could see them early day pressure. Ovland Glasgow coming out for this one. Get Mateta's big head on that. That's what you really need in this situation. They're going to be going probably on the inside. It's a thrown in, headed up by away, and Arsenal go down and manage to win themselves a free kick. Great deal of frustration in that one. I think it was Jesus who went in the end, but they're all back defending. It's back with Kepa then to Calafiori, who will just take his time and then pass it out wide. Yep, it's very predictable, very effective as well. But Palace are a high pressing team. They do like a good press. Some fancy speed. I think it's Eze there up against his former club. Touching of the ball, a bit skillful there. Eze's been quite impressive in this opening 5 minutes or so. Yes, Arsenal just want everybody to get a touch on the ball, it seems. Madueke has a far too heavy touch and it goes out for a throw-in for Palace. Very slow tempo game. Both of these two teams determined not to make. It just seems that both making a bit sloppy mistakes here so far. Long throw. Mateta's trying to hold the ball up, doing his iconic job. Yeah. So it's around Arsenal's defence at the moment. I would have used Miles Skelly there, but he's cut back on his inside. And that'll be the far side for us watching it here. To Calafiori. He's an interesting player, Calafiori. Scott got a great long ball there. Into a grateful arms of Palace's goalkeeper because Martinelli was coming into it. Benitez had it well covered though. Can see what was the attempt there. I can see the value in that. Some quick passes now. Mateta has it and he's trying to feed the ball through. The pace of Palace is now cutting through here. A shot and that goes well over the bar. An unfortunate miss from that one. It was quite high and wide. So Mateta is the one who releases it, and I think he's done the best bit of work there. Probably should have passed, to be honest. Who is it? Tyrick Mitchell was the one who took the shot. It was curving out high and wide. I think a cross-field pass to his counterpart would have been a bit wiser there, but that's all with the benefit of hindsight and the replays. And sometimes you do just snatch it a bit. Throw in again will be taken by Tyrick Mitchell, the one who's been taking most of the throw-ins for Palace so far. Strong player, Mitchell. A crunching tackle in against Moreno by Jefferson Lerma, who absolutely loves a card. I feel like every single time I've seen Jefferson Lerma plays, he gets booked. Still remember that absolutely reckless red card he had for Colombia, I think in 2018's World Cup. But yeah, he does love a good booking, the Colombian. And he's tackled the captain, Moreno, for Arsenal. Who has it now? Goes to Calafiori. To Miles Skelly. They're playing more of a back three, to be honest. It's not really a 4-3-3. But Kepa being a bit of a sweeper keeper. It's a bit of an odd one, Kepa. We know that he has his weaknesses. He was exposed a bit when he was at Chelsea, I believe it was. But and is now second choice behind him. But he's in the net today, so he's got a point to prove, I suppose. I think everybody here who isn't normally a starting one has got a good chance to get themselves into some of the games potentially coming up over this festive period. But yeah, I think it's hard to say who's got the stronger team. I'd argue that Palace is fielding their stronger team. I wouldn't say it's the strongest team here. It's a fairly even team, team-wise, I would say. Calafiori is frustrating everybody by not passing it quickly. Including myself, I would say in that. Out wide, but safe passing option there by Arsenal. We'll look at some of these passing maps at half time and it will prove just to what I'm saying already. They're all sort of cross fields ones. That's an incisive pass, but it doesn't get to anyone, and Palace will have it here. The youngster, who I can't remember the name of for Palace, was managed to get back Mateta. Trying to skip away, but Arsenal deal with that. I didn't realise Carabao has beer, but apparently Carabao sponsors a competition of selling a beer. Does that tell you how boring the game is? Quite possibly. I feel for him in a bit. He's had to drop so deep because of how bad at the moment Arsenal are being in terms of using possession. Like, Palace is just content to let them keep the ball, to be honest, because as long as it doesn't go too much into their heart, like as soon as it gets to their third, they then go and get all over them. But they're like, you can keep that in your own half in your defensive area. It's not going to be doing anything. It's just a waste of time for all of the spectators concerned. Oh, Mourinho was almost pickpocketed there. He's coming forward now and trying to release the player forward, but Guehi has this and Timber couldn't quite get there. Guehi clears, but it's only going to about halfway through the pitch of the halfway line. So half of Palace's area, that's the term, or half. Eze's got it now, plenty of space to run it. Try to release it, but there's a crowd of people. And Wharton will have it now. And he's passed it out to Mitchell. Tyreek Mitchell will be well known for being his wing-back self. Bit of defensive play now. Richards, that's one I forgot the name of. With Eze. Not Eze. It doesn't matter. It was a long ball anyway, and Kepa has managed to get it back there. I'm so used to seeing Eze in a Palace shirt, but I've mistaken a Palace player for him, who's obviously now on the opposite side. Guehi, that's it. But Calafiori forward pass has found Eze in this one, but he's quite well crowded out there. Oh, Miles Skelly's done well there. Eze holding the ball up, passing it back to Miles Skelly, who will go to Calafiori and will then go and do another slow across. The tempo is so very slow in this one. Arsenal have no sense of urgency. They're just content to keep possession, to be honest. Oh, Martinelli tried to cross, diving header across, and that will be a corner. It was Jefferson Lerma, I believe, with a header. Very, very well done by Martinelli there, driving forward. Yes, couldn't find his target, unfortunately. Everybody for Arsenal is going quite far away. Their traditional corner taker is Saka, but obviously he's on the bench, so they've got Eze taking it for this one. They're all absolutely miles away from goal. This is an odd set piece routine. But we know Arsenal do like to score from a corner. They've done it a great many times already this season. It's one of their biggest threats. As they're whipping it in, it's all a bit of a scramble and a shot, and that's, I think, as Martinelli snatched him, and it was always bending away from goal. Had the curl completely wrong on that one. Yeah, it was headed up, couldn't be headed down, and yeah, it was an out swinging boot, I think. But there was a claim for a handball by Gabriel Jesus. I'm not quite convinced on that myself. But yeah, Martinelli having a horrendous shot. Is a lot of talking about whether it is a handball. Well, I don't know. Jefferson Lerma could have got contact with his hand on that one, but it's been waved away. I don't know if there's VAR at this stage. Can't remember. I'm guessing not, considering it was waved away, and then there was no review over it. Calafiori now. 74% possession by way of his opening 15 minutes or so for Arsenal, 26% to Crystal Palace. But I don't think they particularly are caring Palace. They always knew they were going to have less possession. It's just what you do with a possession is what counts, because at the moment, Palace, Arsenal, the team who is, at the moment, just seems a bit slow and slow build up. Like, it's all just a bit frustrating to watch, to be honest. I don't know how you can be an Arsenal fan at the moment. And obviously, you're top of league, so it's an effective method. Anyway, Martinelli here. It's got in Miles Skelly. But he's been cried out to go back to Calafiori. That's the thing with Palace. They know the game plan of Arsenal. It's very easy to read. And so they just crowd the players out as soon as they start attacking. You just got to leave little space. Calafiori has got space, though, to run into here. But it's well blocked there by Richards, who's now going to try and hold up on 50-50 and has managed to get himself a throw-in involved in that duel as it came off late. An Arsenal player was what was due to get, I think it was Calafiori. Yes, Arteta's protesting that one. I don't think the Lerma penalty claim actually touched his arms, but it was incredibly stupid to even put yourself in that position. There will be definitely a talking point of that at halftime. It's going all, but you know what? Palace aren't going to try and press that one. We know that Palace will press when it feels worthwhile. We've seen that a couple of times last season and already this season. It's more dual Tyreek Mitchell and manages to do enough to see it out for a throw-in. Madueke was all over him like a rash. A poor move there by Mitchell, and it could have been much worse. But he's managed to get himself the throw-in against for Arsenal, admittedly, but it was very much always likely to be the case. But Arsenal got a good position for a throw-in here. And it seems like they've got the ability to do a long throw, as they're all crowding into the penalty area. It's thrown in and flicked up and headed away by Palace. Eze will do a high control, but he manages it out wide with Jesus. What he's doing there is I don't know. But he's got the return. He's into the penalty area, but it's cleared by Richards quite comfortably there. Eze's going to try and get this control. It's a bit of a bouncy one. And Palace managed to get it, but Eze's pace is more than enough to be able to compete with Wharton. And he pushes it back to Kepa, who receives it gratefully. Arsenal try to go on the other side with Timber. There's a large roll and scribble on the floor. It was Madueke against Jeremy. I'm not sure. Was there a shoulder? Glasner's claiming there was a shoulder. Holding the jaw is the Palace player. Was there adjudicatable of a that does seem a bit. There was an elbow definitely in there. Was that an intentional elbow? Oh, I don't know. Jeremy's been absolutely crunched. Uduke will be lucky if he doesn't get hard in this one, because that was borderline violent conduct, I would say. But I don't think the referee saw it, so he's very lucky there. But another talking point that potentially is there. Palace have unfortunately managed to make the most of it, and it will be a Arsenal throw-in near side. Lewis Skelly to take it. But yeah, I mean, that was quite a... The referee is not keen of giving the controversial decisions today, clearly, which in itself makes a controversial one, doesn't it? By all natures, everything that is controversial has two sides of it. Miles Skelly to do this throw-in. Also, so I don't think you can calm down your players anymore. He seemed quite I mean, I think maybe a bit of temper. Just throw the blimmin' ball. It's headed by Richards. Back to Miles Skelly. Wharton threw ball there to Mateta. It's too deep, and Arsenal will deal with it and go back to Kepa. Thing is, with Mateta, you want him far higher up the pitch. He's in the centre circle there. Not ideal at all. Arsenal using their wing play, trying to get to it to be a bit more effective, I suppose, than it currently is. Oh, and that's what the press does. Mateta has it now, but it's a good tackle in the end. I believe it was Marino who did that, but I can't be certain, as we're a counter-attack attacking down the lines with Eze at the moment. Who does a cross-field searching pass, but Madueke can't get onto the end of that, and it'll be a throw-in for... I like the intent for Palace. I like the intent with that. But yeah, it was a good tackle from one end for Arsenal, and very quickly on the transition. Great to see that. Yeah, I think if Mateta could manage to get the other side there, he was through. He's also quite a big target man, to be fair. He sort of was an iconic target man even before the repopularization of target men became a thing. Arsenal in there. Madueke trying a shot. Bit of last-ditch defending. It's hooked up. I don't even know. Oh, somehow there's a big tackle involved there. How that's not ended up in the back of the net is beyond me. Just needed a better control by Madueke, who's just not managed. He got tipped wide a bit. Yeah, he was getting his shirt pulled, but I don't think enough to throw him off doing that. It was a decent enough save by the Palace goalkeeper. Jesus couldn't get a good touch on it, and so it gone bobbling out. Madueke is a bit frustrated with that. Well, he was having his shirt pulled, but I don't know how much it was interfering. Anyway, Richards will take a throw in, as is the right decision. And Eze has just pushed over the Palace player. So Arteta's getting a bit annoyed. Don't know if it's a Roy Ref or with his teammates. That is not 10 yards, is what everyone is saying on the pitch. But yeah, a lot of frustrating. You just pass the ball. I think it's Jeremy who seems to be delaying it at the moment. I don't even know what's going on. A long lofted pass. Mateta can't get his head on it, and so Arsenal deal with it. What a load of faffing and wasting time. Eze on the counter. Richards heads away. A couple of Richard heads involved. It's out wide with Martinelli. Mo Skelly, youngster, goes with Calafiori and will try to switch and play. So now tonight on the other side with Madueke, who has got surrounded by two players, and so has to do the safer option and go back to his defensive line. That's the thing with Palace. They all defend from the front, making sure that everybody's crowded out. They work as a team very effectively. Miles Skelly having to go back to California. Just can't find space at the moment, Palace or Arsenal, which is what Palace's tactics are doing quite successfully. Aze's got it now. Some good interconnecting football there. It's ended out wide with Martinelli, which is where he should be, and Jesus should be more central. So, moment Jesus going on. Great save, and again, that was a fantastic save. Palace will try and get a counter, but Kepa's got this well undercover. But that was incredibly well done by Palace's goalkeeper, because Arsenal would have definitely scored. I'm